Ajo na ya mo akwa ba fa mba no Nsroma Kaseɛbɔ so Cyrus TV and some would be brenu a esi we man no emu eno na se mufo bomodin so ne so e de amayen se ende oforiso bosome ne da etoso du ba ko e wo mfimpinum ni echiri edunu enum no yemfa embeso wende akakoye fie da boja ye na se na wochi no etiemu saa e de ekọ eba ne saa de ansam ne doso ye papa na ye hye ye mbre na no nsi abo apa ho sema kakra ne sa yonti e bebomodin ne abo ewura ensam no ententem e de ama esan sabi ensam ampenfo e kan se prekonam ye de ne show so no ye de ne ententem se ne bebo ama bribia no etumi akọ enkan na mom no obetumi aka ye ho abel fontentan fidie do eso apam global apam Ghana Apam TV Ghana enidiem a wa like wa comment wa sanso a share e de amaye yamfa na se no ma Apam Global Church asafo no sadane de na wono eso ya sene ma ye de kase ne de ebesomo so chum rescue point and atena kese no ebutuo se na de bia ye tena eye kasa for news so ye kano ya wa de bia no paibo kese ekoso e wo fidie mu ha obo ade e ya adom na memendo de dom ye na ne kwasi ada so no ode emaye ya e ya de ankenya nsom ebekoso e wo ha enti first service and second service. First service ne shase 7 e da kwakopem eye 9 na second service no 9:30 e da kwakopem 11:30 na wo de account dada sita no e de amai no bo ade che na wo chefoforo ne yesimu a ya wa de beba no e ya de ampaibo ebekoso enti no frempenimfo e wo 0249 669993 0249 669993 and 0540 378 282 0540 378 282 na ni mpedifo enjechi enkomo medin edna na ama Fordjour mene
Kachrenua nana ya Sikapa
yenda ne ye ho nkomra ne ye ba ensam ni nkyerem ne bedo musuko edi amawo Yemora ensam no ankasa entwemu Ghana Armed Forces impedifo edijubedi ahyehe eso na wono ebomodin ma entete me kyerebro ni beka se training edema wo ope ene awonfoma se wode wo ho eba bedon Ghana Armed Forces no eho eno no enam so ama wono ewie entete no eninti no wono edijumedi sonko ahyehe so edi ama won senia wo betumi aye adwuma no wono abo adwuma so edi ama oman Ghana ne san yonti no Ghana Company, His Excellency, Ora John Dramani Mahama Ebo Moding, Edino Nam, Ekota Jumediedu Echi, Owie Yeno, and Odia Futu Ekoma won say. Senya wadu enya entity yeno, Ewieno, one more modern say, Waden your ma would run better to na kwanso, no one who edi Jumasani Esefata, Katasha Pro any Jimmy the way in Fidimu, Nemo one ya akukudro, no one cano credo, Senya no ebe Wama de Braya, the Ama won, Ewo Ejumanu Emono, etumi akon kind, no one so Ejumana Woyeno, and who me abenyam.
9 years ago, I was here to perform a similar function as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces. It gives me a great sense of nostalgia to be here again today. And as fate and the uncertainties of life would have it, I'm back again to preside over this auspicious ceremony. I'm grateful to the Almighty God and highly elated to be part of this graduation parade and commissioning ceremony. I wish to assure you that my administration and the entire Ghanaian people stand strongly with you in your bid to serve and protect our nation. Mother Ghana demands your devotion and your patriotic service. My dear officer cadets of the Ghana Armed Forces, you stand here today as a testament to the values of discipline, courage, and dedication that define the Ghana Armed Forces.
Yako ensem fifre mu dia Openi Johnson esiama ono eno ye governor Edema Bank of Ghana. Odi sembi aba betudwa Openi ni sema wo kyere mu nyina ene se wona eya wo de bank fo ni nyina wona wo de sika ema loan se eya omo mfa nkonkoye adwuma no temamufo mfa nkoye adwuma no enye se ebi a omo di loan na ema omo ni nyi hu na mom wasere wo mo se odi loan no ema omo a eya wo mo momoden a na ehu nsi hu no wo mo entete so ezan se eba ne sa eboa ema woni ya ni timi tua ne yie na eba ne se ebi wo hono ma nsi hu no loan no sika no mo de be ma eya temamufo no ketua bi na nso ehu nsi hu no sei bocho enti wasere se eya wo mo di loan no ema omo a nsi hu no sebi eya wo mo nwen hu kakra
which while underway remains too gradual to secure lasting stability. The decline in headline inflation from 23.8% in December to 22.4% in March confirms that recent policy actions are having the intended effect. However, inflation expectations remain elevated and core inflation is still above the medium-term target. Now, with private sector credit and broad money supply expanding, demand-side pressures could re-emerge without continued vigilance. The committee therefore adopted a proactive stance, guided by recent experience that delayed tightening can result in more persistent inflation and costlier adjustments. The policy rate increase also strengthens external buffers. It supports the cedi and signals our commitment to macroeconomic stability at a time of heightened global uncertainty. Colleagues, we also recognize that the policy rate hike will affect borrowing costs for businesses and households.
Yadi ni HMU ewonsem foforo emu a penin kwanchefo a ono na eda African Center for Security and Counter-Terrorism eni Ora Emmanuel Mawunye eye Kotin openino abomodin ede nsem ne afutu akọ ede ama His Excellency Ora John Dramani Mahama say na nsentemu na beto eja se eye ranking member ede ma defense Rashebe Fie, Dr. and Reverend John Intim Fordjour, a yadi openino edebetu eja otribu say, Okopiemu, a walk to car remushenjina biawa, a yadia a flight me nubi a buy and I will share a moi, na indrubone a womu and a sabisi kebiso a war a flight no emu, and no nam so ama openino de bambon na or the two ejanum. Ghana mampeni etie na supem nemu mo kuchiriye edugu na be fonten tan kasedo eso ni page na ochire mu say was say abambofo no obomoden na wone Reverend John Intim Fordjour ehia na information bi openi no no otumi edema wono wodi nhihwemu mapa efirase na asemi beto mbonten nkofo bebrenu na sabi protocol sem wo kan se wo lamba state Ghana mampeni ni nyina ene say wo kire mu politics no openi no ye o kan onfanye adwuma na insem bebre no abobo fa ho na and then 3 days ana ndam yenseni na yenya antie say NIB mpenimfo abomodin akọ ora Reverend John Intim Fordjour efie se wono akwakoso openinu epechi edina kwakogina embra no enim ne san yonti ena ora Emmanuel Kutin edi insem bi akọ edi amaga na mampeni se osra no se ekamia ye se obi eba bonten na nipa no ka ensem edefa na ban eho ana bibi koso ewo man mu na enye na obi ka mano engina so ana ma bambofo ni engina so wo kwakochi nipa no ye beka say ye Rambo style masa anyoma no enkoso kra na ekoso a enye na ombo modern so befa commission fo no mo aye nhihwemu ewo saa ensem no emusa ne ebebo ma na memu no eho etumi ate.
Yes, President immediately in the daily affairs of our security agencies. They had say messages new year, but the messenger is the problem. Japan lead all these operations, and we all know the history of Japan in this country when they were prosecuting for the ambulance cases. Until Obi Konyesa case sensitive position where not all lead operations are. It is simple for anybody to convince himself that it's a political witch hunting. Until now, Oman Penny. So onhwe obetima yi Japa afi ho a na wayi Japa afi ho to bring sanity into our security agencies. And it's a simple matter. We are in the democracy. As somewhere I zoom on currency cry or matro letters ama your development partners through your embassies. So the president directed say, Team Fordjour should cooperate with the security heads. What kind of cooperation is the president talking about? Nka the obey say unconstituted a commission. Your name say commission chairman in East members ni. No my city. Omu friend now. Uka is on ba. Obana one for information also okita nemba. He can be dealt with under the law. So this commission should have the powers of the High Court. And you swear an oath and you present your evidence also here there. In a very serious country or democracy.
Yako ensemfufro ni mudia na yebomodia ako openi Emmanuel Kutin odi nsembi ebetudwa sansem na mu ena o kire mu se Ghana mampeni etwobre bia eya mema ne ho emfa ne ho emforefore ensembi ho te se security ho asembi wo hono ma ewo se ojai ema security fo no no oyo omankasa eye omedwuma eba ne saa ebetimi aboa ezan se Ghana fo ye woni mu gidie pa na wode ne ho ehyehyehye sansem ni mu a ebema Ghana fo ya hwiri gidie
lose the goodwill of the Ghanaian people. And when you lose the goodwill of the Ghanaian people earlier in your term, Papa Bia Obeyeno Omu. And minority are macro minority no. They are very good in spinning propaganda. As some back home bet my spinning no amana acquire a different issue altogether. So the goodwill and of a overwhelming majority, the good people of this country, the NDC, they should guide it jealously. Because I bet me feel Musam just like that. Because MPP, the same thing happened. No mobile Jumapa, but I could do Mrebi Akasa or Munti. And once they lost the goodwill of the people, no, anything Omube Kabiano, Ghana for Munyede or Munti. And this is what we witnessed in the last election. Omo ankonya ankofa asam papa biamba.
So far ono na ehye eye oboade nsase ene ne ndepa eso ene ora Emmanuel amakofi boa na openino abomodin de nsembi atu eja ensem openino ade atu eja nyina ene se enema bi wo ho a eyade ehu ehia papa titiru ene Ghana mampani His Excellency John Dramani Mahama na okiremu se Ghana Geological Survey Authority eyade wo hu ehia Ghana ban ena afi o mampani ye papa esanse uyi wo hu afiri mu a enye yie osanso etetire won so kra enye yie nienti ene se won ena wo bomodin ye enhyehyemu efa ne sase ahodrodo ehu eninti ena wo hu hia o mampani ene o manmuni nyina openi no sanso sisu a no okiremu se nienti poti nti a oka se Ghana Geological Survey Authority wo hu ehia ene se won ena wo ye nhyehyemu eninti se nhyehyemu na wo ye fa ye nsase wo no anamo na ye tu no ebeboa yen ana emboa yen sankofo no ena wo ye sa nhyehyemu no ne sa yonti ena okiremu se wo hu hia esanse na nsen wo hye yensuruwa yensase yendobaye oboade niema ode kyen na yenso ni nyinani adane eba ne sa enye eninti ena okiremu se sa GGSA won wo hu ehia
ebe ma adwuma na gina no ebe ma mo atumi ayes geological mapping of the country ebe ma mo anya niema yehia ye dey monitor yen seismic monitoring system no sa adwuma no nyina no ese omubom modern a komo hu bom na yenso yegina omo achi na sa adwuma no koso ye boa workers no munya capacity the technology is every day nti ese ye institutional da bia ye boa no mo technology no very up to date wo hwe adwuma omo ya for example the national seismic monitoring system no omo na omo to me monitor na omo mi hu say dangers bi ba earthquake bi ba ese ye boa ye hu ese nkrofo omo he omo move sa information abania yen security as a country in the they are very critical national security asset. Apart from that, no geological any other service or muye mapping or muye no ye can't minerals are ye obi atutu baby so mutumi your adwuma ye na si yetumi say hana gold no hana gold no ebeba ne say ye betumi organize small scale miners ne better say na ebe ya omuntutu baby a Ghana ha.
Yɛkɔ nsɛm foforɔ mu deɛ na yɛde ani ɛretwerɛ mu ɛwɔ Integrated Aluminium Development Corporation for Asoye. Ɔpanin Ransford Twumasi ɛde nsɛm bi aba bɛto dwa. Ɔpanin no ɔkyerɛ mu sɛ Ghana aban ɛmmɔmmɔden na ɔntrɛ ɛyɛ bauxite no emu esan se omo ebomodea ekofa bauxite ne eba na womo eye ho adwuma ne ade na eya na ehia sika twitwiridie pa te se $4 billion eno na womo ehia se de omo betimi ede aye ho adwuma na eso abanfaso ama Ghana.
Henry ina vacuum kwa beji mo be 800 million. This is 4 billion. Crava konko aji mo be 800. Akoka 3.2. Railway no betimi aji mo be 400. Refinery Rubenian standard one na ye be 1.5 billion. Now mines no betimi activity a mine. And then mine so you need about 200 million to 250 million. So here we have 4 there, 4 billion BI. Bet me aye. I'm not calling him. Yes, dollars and yes, the citizens to me for baby. Oh, investors are ba. Yeah, kasa. But I'm also can almost questions on what deba. Be a power generation, transportation. Any real system no. And I quite and cars cry more hard and I'm so cry our problem. Yes, and the trucks are the bauxite gum everything account. Very different. Dedicated railway lines are a bit mende and wako. In one of the main issues I say even though you are not in charge of transport, no, idea is an essential product. I say and say it's me ton the episode ton until they account yejuma no more or less any railway authority and transport ministry heading kita ho say be me develop ye
ora yere awola se wa eye penin kwanche for no ekasa ede efa eye illegal mining no ehun na maame no ede nsem bi atu eja ni na ya futu a ode magana mampedi okire mu se sisie no senia boble no akwakoye eba no fo megudie ho nsem enye small scale miners no na emom no illegal mining a ye chanity afre no galamsey no eya ade a ekoso yie pa ewo man Ghana emu sisi akra da ise amani mu emu sododo odwene ho a onte ase ne nti a onte ase ene se eyade nkofo bebre na hye kunturanse na wono etu safo megudie no titil ne nsase ne kwansan ko wodidi komu no eho ena wodidi ko sena dan na menua no ka no obi mu fie kra ne yepese ye ntufo megudie ne bi eho eno ena nam soma ma media foto eko ede amagana mampeni His Excellency say osle ne ye papa sabi obi no meduro ma ya afo eni ti we eye amane a auto ede mane openi ne say obefa ebeboa onfa so a eja ono de waka na emom ne nsem a ode tu eja ene say ye shepempen so galamsey na kwakoduru na say ye nsuru wa ahodro bebrenu a ehu be yansan ko be declare a state of emergency ewo eye oman Ghana emu eban galamsey no sania won wotu eye fo megudie ne nkuruwa no aye ananketenkete no wonyina wo betumi ejai ana ode tabo no ebeto so na nka galamsey nke yetumi ejai ewo oman Ghana emu
legal mining rather than galamsey, because if we look at the history of galamsey, they used to use hand tools. They used to come and pick up what was left from the the big miners, so it wasn't causing the devastation it's causing now. Right now it's a completely different matter. You have people using excavators when it's the water bodies, the chanfans, and they are causing a lot of damage. You would recall that in the run-up to the elections, the CSOs, organized labor, Catholic Bishops Conference, so many people, Christian Council, so many people came together. There were so many press conferences. And what was said was that, look, we face an existential threat from the environmental terrorists. So you should declare a state of emergency. You see, our water bodies are being poisoned. Even in wartime, even when there's a war going on, you cannot poison water bodies. It's a war crime. Right now, the environmental terrorists have declared war on Ghana. They are poisoning our water bodies. They are decimating the forest reserves. Our ancestors have kept these forests for us. The forests have so many different functions. Apart from giving us, pure oxygen, so many water bodies take their source from forest reserves. So you destroy the forest reserves, you are spoiling the ecosystem, you are, interfering with our source of water, so many things. So we said declare a state of emergency. Go to the forest reserves and the water bodies and remove the environmental terrorists and their equipment. We said to do that. We also said repeal LI 2462. This is the law that allows mining in forest reserves. And whilst in the run-up to the elections, His Excellency the President promised us that if the Akufo-Addo regime did not do that, when he came to power, he would revoke LI 2462.
Ama, Oje Hussein, enka Ghana man penny momodia and anka onim penny phone kasa. Yem pesa yebeshri will be a beam. Oh, unim ne kasa no ne sa ne say den abasa ochre. Yem pesa yebeshri bambo fu bi abiem e Ghana hanum sei.
Galamsey okone de sabi ne kone de ne kone kana. Sabi unim nipa o sha sie etu. E na ono ne ko sha sa abo no. Iti eduane ebu a ebebu abo no a. Iti o so onu na sanya ma me na aka no. Obo modende ne na isi form. Eno so dinka odiklan ke beboa. Sanya nka obie ntu bibia na nsase no. Ebe san so aba ko sisi no nsuo ne nsase ni
asaipa
me kai se me se bono ho side ne se eduandua bakra ma
na ofi de no kra de ehu sisi aye sabi ateche eno na posini kokoto mu a wanya ne nkwane biemu no. Rest in peace enko emfa majoni ebusia ye to aso a mamme awuli asanso ekasaye mamme na asema wo kan nyina ene se wona wotu eye galamsey no etobie bia se wo ye foreigner na se wo ba o man Ghana mu na yebechewa yetimi ema wo ekọ ukromu mumma me fam nkomachi kakra eye mamme Aisha ye foreigner oba Ghana ha betu eye efam agudie no a won famra kwanso no sa maame no yebo modia ema ne ko ni kuromu eno no na maame no echiremu se ebe ne sa entwa yie se wo ye Ghana ni o se wo nya Ghana ni o si ye chewa omunyai empanifo nyai na mra no ani wundi no sede ese.
Law clearly states that they need to be arrested, they need to be tried, that is prosecuted. You see, a man is, there's a rule of law. You can't just see somebody in a forest reserve and then just decide you are deporting them. That's not how it works. You need to arrest them, investigate, and prosecute them. Now, what you are saying is that foreigners who are involved in illegal mining, I believe cyber fraud, you are not going to even find out the veracity of the information. All you are going to do is to deport them. This is very, very dangerous. When it comes to the Ghanaians or the Africans, you're happy to prosecute them. So why are you just deporting the foreigners? It's wrong, it's an unlawful thing to do, and it's also discriminatory. You need to try them. And when you say you are deporting them, we all know the case of Aisha Huang. She was supposedly deported, came back to our country, and was still engaged in illegal mining. Even now, has anybody checked as of today where she actually is, whether she's in custody or is out of the jurisdiction or in her home? We don't.
Eni de ma Ghana de she be jina ma me awola se wa ensam no esone ahome kase no so abatia wa.
Osho formula was Apam TV, your family TV. I mean, Shrapa, need 2 months afro specially, and you could see that ebay, sir, only me timba be boom, na ya shia, Yamasumpa, Unchre, a beboa ujidio, Christo Sumo, a bema ujidi a grow near Via, a bejina swayam pie modern tea, a de IRSA or Jia, Fahudia dance day, a banipa abrabum, your question about some ya 2 days, a testimony service, Ubiodin and Mitrobian on Cosan your bano, a beer and a quasiada away enemy, a ya dance de quasiada, a man and pound. Blanebe share a sotium, a rescue point. Unya siwa, bisasa a fine Apam TV wo, ubo rawa, a Nsroma Kaseɛbɔ air console, Kaisa a anapa 7 a.m. at Chakra 11 near Apam, and near Mebomunshia Mompaye, Wablabo and Yasenete.
Mama Wakwaba, Emfa Emra and Yumrenu Sia Kasia so ye to us so diana ye bomodia edieni atremu ewo dansuman. Weja Ramsia site eho ena yedi eni atremu ewo honomo. Mame a original minister for Accra, Ma Melinda Uklu abomodia akwako bubu edan bia wakwako sense eniama pa sase yantam okoko dwiri ni nyina ne botaye a woye saade ni nyina ene se ensase anase bi wo honom a okwabrane pa otimi hwese ba bia wo si dan yasi no eye nsuo asase ensukwan na wasi edan ewo so ne senti na ye maame ebo omode a efa sa adwuma ne eto no so a okopie mu ewo wa ene wodwiri enem edan pa ene ensase no wodwiri ni nyina eguye.
Measures are His Excellency the President already put in place. This time around is so clear. So you're buying flood in there, but we are minimizing the flood in the region. On why so Aba ahase baby ayabai President Aba hadida. Into on one and that director say we dey on way to see our preventing fuel for flowing. When the stakeholder engagement, meetings, even with the company. I'm almost here and then Baba executive exercise the directive from Yankasa President Papi, and then Yabaya almost see Omuni machines are Yadibe Tuma. Machine back assembly no one, and one near the Aba, machine where we a machine I CZ from the other side. Omudi Juana, yes, on Fabone, Jumana and Cost. If you ever saw Connie Abapa, they are mobilizing you. We are the machines. We do not say about Usha. Omo and Kochipa, we there city I was in Bubanya Dankipa. See about Quack mobilizing. They are the machines. That we also say, but yeah, Yamia doom in Sota at least. Here to say about flooding poor. And then the places do not know the end flooding my. It's a new thing and exercise.
Yeah, by last week, the president by around. And it's in Dynasty waterways, especially Ramsar sites, you know. So I shall fit a Malam Junction under the overpass. Yeah, dredging on many scoopy material.
Free a demolition and no a course so a wodan suman and in put him na for yeni and chemu a woboku. Na yeni say into Kwapa na amano home so ewo ho. A penifo modi yen shishimuno. Once someone would debetu eja and say. Mentami once say and a coso ewo na nanomatina kunya ewo eho and a finsa so ensem and na a shisha a entimemua and nunti and as a way eshia we are now we agent cra ne cra edi a free ninsa. And no and I'm so ama wukwade wona wachi muanum ukopiemu ewo ho na esi die se weni ensa o kache modin Kenya ho mpoye dada na emom ne ekoso ene sedom kuma na ba bekasa ni na ene se wukwada no ena asrafo ye de won akoso won konkobo ban ewo eye empotem wo no se entokwa na free hi o se hyen na efra si o wono edi esi ani ma eye asrafo ndodo no a wono epra wono ewa yaresabia eje ayareshe embofini mu de nhyehyemu ababeto eja ene se nipa ba ko ada ne nsa benkum eso eno no enam so ama police sahene Dr. Anora Christian Tetoyo hunu abomodin abonan yakokopie mu ewo ho ne mpenifo ne ko se wo kwa akwohye no wodi ye atuye se ne eno no ebeboa ma menteme ho ase asori ewo ho no ebetumi abrasem na ye nyina ye beka ya Ghana mampani ye to aba no ewie ye na odi thank you to ehye sunum okopie mu ewo bokun na ode ensem eto na nanom atena nkonwa ewo wosanka eni die mu anka wonfa kwan ahudro bia so sanka obetumi apɛ ɔhaw no anopumesibre ma asante hene otumfo ɔsa tutu ɔtoso mienu ɔno so kurade ne ho gye sa ensem no emu ɔda anase ɛfa ho na ekame ayɛ sɛ entokwa no kwa na ekoso eno enenam so ama eyedom kuma no ne fa wo mra hye bedefie no wono asɔre ɛwɔ sa ensem no ɛso wo frensem twofo enhyiemu nipa ono ena etine kundwom ene ranking member Edema Defense ewo mrahwe de fie Reverend John Ntim Fordjour okwa onda na wasan so aba openi no akasa ede afan so ne ekoso enye kura a eni timpenifo enhye na wonpe anopu mesire ni nyina no kasasie se ne no ebebo ma kasa chechere ebetumi akode amatemamufo a ewo ho no won so wakoma ehuru akosoro no ebetumi aba fo
Ye free bako and sensem ne so ne de ni atwemu ewo nkran pumpuni mantamu hade ye de ni atwemu ewo mokola abonten so ebeto dwas na nsen ya se mokola market no ejato mu a yamfa pin kra enumu na edwadifo ewo ho ebo mode a ebo wo mo sese a sisi ya no nyame aye adoma wo mo ahyase eton ne ma mienu miensa sika bi ebaaye nanso edwadifo kiremu a enye nipa dodo na wono mo ensa etumi aka sika no ebi obi ho no mo kra wono ankasa ni sika na ode abo ne sese a wono ankasa akofa ne niama beguma wo ton na ade nkakra ye de ani atwemu ewo baabi a eye markets ewo honoma dwadifo ewo honoma wo mo eton entoma ne ade na wono mo kire se sisi ade wo mo empene kra wo ye kire chenchire ncha kyese ye so ano enye yi na akoso ho wono mo buafu pa esan se ensase no wo mo wogidie ewo efa baabi se eye private sector fo ni bi ehyehyehye sumase a omo epese omo gi eye asase no efiri wo mo nsem enu nti no wo mo empene ne empene kina ma asase no enkosa
to leave the market for us. Elsewhere, in any other African country, these people would have been vanished by now. Yes. If care is not taken, we are going to throw away civility to the dogs. Yes. And then do what is needful. But when it comes to our place of trade, nobody has the right. No, is there? Are there the trade ministers? What locus do they have as an NGO to cause a seed of discontent among ourselves? We are not going to allow that. And we call for immediate forensic audit, investigation into the activities of this fraudulent group called All Foundation.
Yemfri kantamanto eja kese no emu na fe yemfa yedi entremu ewo EPA wono aso na kire say Environmental Protection Agency wono akache na Professor Nana Amabruni ono na eda wono ano openino edi atu eja say Ghana pan ene Ghana Companies Excellency Ora John Dramani Mahama wonyina na ka wontoma ede apemu na wo ba beye ejuma pa na ejuma wo ba beye ene se wo ba ba abeko kona wo ba abeko no eno no ebeboa ma neoma etumi akọ enkan eni nti no wo ba abeko se ne ebeboa ma neoma etumi akọ enkan na etie ene se sisia no kame se neoma bitumi ebowura oman Ghana emu nyoma bi etumi ebo ra nyoma bi emu okirebu se eyade amframa bone to de bi etumi ebo edeba oman no mu ede yade ene nyema hodro ede eba na broni beka se air pollution no na no pedi no ede atu eja se senya wono aka wontuma ede abomu no obekukude mpa na wono etumi ede ape ohaw no anu pomasibre na afi no se hwehwe bi no wode begu akwan so wode begu na band bi so no wode beto a wono abomoden ede ato wo se ne ebeboa maneoma etumi afa ne ntima pa no efra
commission we wish senka management betumi aboayen kakra on that. Now there's all the same, you know, you want ECD to help us.
Led by His Excellency, the President, John Dramani Mahama, it's poised to make Ghana eco-friendly to protect the environment as well, and EPA is leading that charge. So one of the challenges we have in our environment is plastic waste. What we seek to do is to ban plastics, especially single-use plastics. We know we can't do completely away with plastics because they form a big integral part of our lives. So we are seeking to ban single-use plastics. Even with that, we want to do it in phases and slowly. Because we are overly dependent on plastics, we need to provide alternatives before we ban the single use. So at this event, First Pack policy that is being launched today is encouraging to help the industry of the alternatives to plastic to strive, and I pledge the support of government in this industry so they can provide the alternative to plastic. That will make it easier for us to ban the single-use plastics. So here today I've come to launch that report that is a blueprint policy towards providing alternatives to plastic, and this is the way to go. It is in our plan to meet the producers of plastics and other plastic packages to encourage them to look into alternatives.
Mame Elizabeth Ofosu Ejare and Ghana Mampani Apam say on your trade minister Emfa Emma Ghana Hanom si nonti mame no any traders edi ehyiemu na asama woka enyina ne se nanu yanka bia nhyiemu ye wo hwa ye benya ne nte a US President Trump wabomode a at the 10% ato yena ye import niema efri Ghana hanum say edekono wabomode a at the 10% ato so eno ena ma me adware edi nsembi atu dwa wabra woni traders ahyia ye no asema woka nyina ne se ewo se ye fasa kwanya we so na yankasa ye hia Africa ye nyina yetimi ehia na ye hwese de beya ye benya emfaso yankasa ye betimi aye ye niema se de be ye benya emfaso ewo so.
Foreign Affairs Asia American Ambassador ye ne twetwe ho nkomo ekọ animu kama me no kasa ya ne commercial division any Ministry of Trade mpanyfo eguso bo ho nkomo na san nkomo yi ekosoa na enransa na yebeda no yera Trump opanyin kese say or the 90 days ato ho say ye 10% na nka odeji ye ne agi ahome ena nkroso a ode akese to omo so nyina wate aba 10% nanso ye betwen 90 days aban pese ohun say sa 10% ye de ye asem aka sene be se wadwuma sene be ha wadwuma e de be na aban no betumi aye de na nyina ye betumi aye ye Ghana idie ye pese ye trade agribusiness ni industry konanim ye ra mahama o se o ye ne nneoma bi e beboa ma export akonanim o ye nneoma bi e be ye industry no na yetimi e de nnwuma bebre aba o hwese e be ye adwuma 3 shifts adwuma baako enso nipa miensa ne be ye nanso ya 3 shifts e be ma efficiency na doso e kwan be na ye nyina be fa so in the face of sa 10% na whilst I ni America e be dwen ho no de na ye wo ha I say sa 10% it brings a challenge and an opportunity. Challenge ni de ye so control if say any obi na beka, but opportunity ni de also control. Ebi ni say ye behwe after ye na ye opportunities are after the brain any other trade agreement no na manya ntie say after ebeshia trade ministers in our Ghana ha na minim say omo ba ensem a ye tie wa ha no mo so de omo de beba ye keka ye ho bom de ye keka ye adwen bom a ye wogidie say ebeboa ma Ghana economy na konanim omo ye garment no omo bohu kakra fi say Ghana no ye hwe yen level ye skill na ye wono a wo ka so the 10% e to so a ebe ha dwadie ni kakra
Yabako asante mantemu ahinko kumase ekopiemu ewo hodia ECG Prepaid Vendors Association ne fa ewo asante mantemu wonso wode afuto no kokobo akọ ede ama eye ECG asoye wachire mu say wo free ase na wode ECG fodi dwa no ache ye papa yentumi enka esanse ye fiti emfi bebrenu a na won edi edwuma na kasubum openi no okasa ye no chire mu a won na wosi wono anim che ECD4 anim na tememufo epe eye credit e de gu on light so na wono enya light e wo mfiefie ene nneoma ahudro mu a won na eye tememufo eba won chen eba won aso ebe top prepaid no ebi na wono commission wono enya bosome no eyade esakura eni ti openi no ejina wonyina anemu akasa ede ato eye ECD4 enim se enim ya won hye na wono entu eye commission no emu se na eno no ebebo mo wondwumedie na wodi no emu etumi ada wo fine
commission na ye no esokra ya ka ho asama ka up to now enye ntino we wish Senka management but me aboying kakra on that. Now there's all the same, you know, you want ECG to help us. Or a coin bia or maybe to me aboying so. On say yan quote say yeta boom 20,000. Now I turn and getting. So ECG always be one more ready money. Oh, ready money to use. Abra yan tonyo. Ha yan tonye. Nti no ye boa wan sa no. I saw also a boy in a way.
And your money been say, you who say ECG were prepaid meters, but postpaid meters no. That's so more our system no. Nti ye best say ECG for say omo emfa prepaid ones no. Enkonko bobo areas no na postpaid no. Emfi said ye be betumi generate sika ama oman Ghana.
Free a year Kumase na ye momodia emfe ni entremu ewo domase enkwanta. Eye ASP Bismarck ede ensembi abatu eja openi na asema woka nyina ene se omo abomodia aso eye enkrofo pechi omo yes dodo 22 omo esusu se Galamsey a ekoso ewo domase enkwanta no omo ehu ebomu na womo ehye sumase ena omo di sa adwuma no na omo susu se omo ni nkrata bia emma omo kwan a omo edi sa adwuma de ni enina eno nti opani a ochechire ensemu ASP Bismarck ena edi ensem etuja
anti-legal mining operations are Western Central Regional Command. Ye took so an amono, and one man bought any day airborne money. And today, Mobaya, yen Rantier, and near Mabawa, ye won't say only any Munayan Kuntia illegal mining. A war as an Gregoire division, and regional headquarters, Takwa Ekabum, a debt also or 3 hours of April 2025. Na monto a 2 year no ya chinipa aduonumienu sesa afo enso so efiri ba bia efro dominance nkwanta ejaka manso enne sa apotem ho no a wo ya region yi mu a omu ye Galamsey enioma ese nsuwa enne nsase a ewo ho no na nipa dodo a echi omo aye aduonu mienu no omodin na edidi suoi abetedu bonsra wodi mfie dunkuno Stephen Kwache wodi mfie aduonu Richard Atiga wodi mfie aduonu miensa wodi mfie dunkun Kwasi Francis wodi mfie aduonu baako Abapo Frank wodi mfie aduonu munya enema enya fie omo no bi ye pumping machine edu baako afei shovel
Yanfa yeni enkonko piemu ewo epoye mantam no emu na kyerese eye akankasu ena me no ekwa kopiemu ewo ho owura yerereta ejei abomodin din sembi atu eja otrebu se Ghana mampani eni suade hu ene se obeboa na ayaresa bia ne nneoma wodro no eba no ayaresa hu nneema no a etumi ati asete akọ eye mensini ene nchiaye ahodro bebrenu a eso eno no enam sumo pani no kopiemu ewo eye natena ye a eye akankensu no obomoden de aso abo efom a wo ba besi eye nursing wono etena bia ana nursing quarters oba besi sane no ebeboa ama enioma etumi akọ enkan eni timprempren de ode aso abofom wo ba befrasie esi ne kama ewo ho
the PAC Emma Nyame na ye de ama ye president His Excellency John Dramani Mahama se wadwen ye ho ena Japan abansu ye beda na ase se oni aka boma ena dwumadie yi ye be hya ase ya ye nyina ye nim se apomodin de ehu hia kro be ye yie ye school be ye yie ye nyuma be ye yie uni apomodin ya ontemi na we ya de a eda ya ban na kuma so se obema health provision akoba bia na obi yare a yankɔpɛ se yɛpɛ ambulance ansa na yɛdi nakɔ baabi akɔsa ne yare ɛnam wei nso ɛna ɛnɛ yɛbɛka te sɔɔdo no nea yɛka nyinaa ne sɛ contractor yɛdi dwuma no ama no no ɔnhwɛ so na ɔnyɛ yɛaka biom aka biom sɛ ahemfoni kromufo a ɛwɔ ha no adwuma no yɛ ɔmo dea they should make sure they protect the work they should own ownership nea yɛka ho nyinaa ne sɛ yɛnhwɛ so na contractor no so yɛ encourage no sɛ ɔnyɛ adwuma no within the shortest possible time
ɛyɛ ni jesem because wohwɛ a akenkensu kro no wobɛka sɛ no ani ba nipa wo paa yɛyi anu si hɔ no mo nso a ɛwɔ nkurankura si bebree wɔ hɔ ebe bebree bia na wobɛhwɛ nipa ne bewie na bia na wopɛ sɛ ɔkɔ anim na ɔkɔkɔhwɛ sɛ wobɛtumi asa no ho yare but kaa kora bia wobɛnya no ɛbɛkyɛ wanhwɛ yi a na asɛmpa mbɛfie pas yɛnya this ultramodern health center ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛbɛnya workers a ɔmo kɔ anim afei yɛbɛnya nnuro nso ɛwɔ n'anim nti no sɛ nkura no ase kora handle na anyɛ yi a ɔbɛrehwɛ aba ha na yɛasom nti ɛkyerɛ sɛ ɛbɛma ayarehwɛ no akɔ anim.
Karachi West ena micha utia akwakopie mu ewo ho na mamme Helena Ajwa onu so ede ensem atu eja na ninsem kayenu emu no okire mu se wono eyi eye mensini Karachi pani mekire municipal chief executive eye Owura Ado Prosper na saa nipa na wono eyi no wogide mapa wonimu eninti no wonyina no ba beka wontuma ede abomu na wono abomodin aye adwumason ede ama eye Karachi West empotemu hofo se natememufo wono ehu ebetumi ahenhan wona mpuntundwuma etumi aba ho ni nyina ye sikagegye a wo begege ntoboan kakra na wode abo epeja eye Karachi West
some of the people because you say IGF is ensuring until the CIA say IGF now actually some say buying any money na also now IGF in case IGF now let's say what you mean now put it so
so media they may promising Karachi West for any say me here almost support because me come to me and a car buying almost a minute the chief executive and so you nyina kabu and here buying and me here almost support in terms of cooperation in terms of dream papa I had the become media na sa niema we are I had the atochima e wo Karachi West team SEC and Karachi Emma omo Karachi omo mia nyina a wo botemi awia yi na sa nyina
ekokoson ya NPT aha na beba ma ye kwan na ye di kase ni nyina aba na wiye medimedi se wate Ghana mamu nsem ensem polo na ensem polo a etwagu e wo Ghana mamu nsem